This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Jay is off this Monday. President Trump declares a truce. Trump announced to reporters that he and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell are, quote, totally united. The declaration of support came during a no-holds-barred news conference at the White House. Mo Lengi reports from Washington.
President Trump spent Monday evening at a South Carolina fundraiser, taking a short break from Washington and a GOP-led Congress that's been unable to support his agenda. But earlier in the White House Rose Garden, the president pushed the reset button on his relationship with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
We're probably now, I think, at least as far as I'm concerned, closer than ever before.
The two men had lunch together at the White House after the president's former advisor, Steve Bannon, vowed to back challengers to some of the Senate's Republican incumbents.
Right now, it's a season of war against a GOP establishment.
The president publicly urged Bannon to reconsider and then took questions from reporters on a wide range of topics, including the national opioid epidemic, NFL players taking a knee during the national anthem, and sexual harassment allegations made against him over the years.
All I can say is it's totally fake news. It's just fake.
He invited a 2020 challenge from Hillary Clinton.
Hillary, please run again.
And he accused past presidents of not calling the families of military personnel killed in action.
Most of them didn't make calls. A lot of them didn't make calls. I like to call when it's appropriate, when I think I'm able to do it.
Former Presidents Clinton, George W. Bush, and Obama later issued statements saying they, too, called the families of the fallen. Mo Lengi, CBS News, Washington.
Later this week, the Senate is expected to vote on a budget that would set the stage for tax legislation. Many Republicans view it as a must-win following the failure of repeal and replace of Obamacare. A pair of health insurers selling individual policies on the Obamacare marketplace in Montana can now file new rates for 2018 policies. That news Monday is a reversal from last Friday when it appeared that companies would have to eat substantial costs next year after the Trump administration canceled some subsidies. State Insurance Commissioner Matt Rosendale says Pacific Source and the Montana Health Co-op can refile rates on certain 2018 policies. Both companies say they'll file for higher rates to cover costs incurred by the loss of what are known as cost-sharing reduction subsidies. Those subsidies offset out-of-pocket discounts for low-income customers. The Trump administration announced last week it is canceling those subsidies, saying they weren't properly authorized by Congress. Pacific Source Vice President Todd Losheen says Monday's news means the individual policy marketplace will remain competitive here in Montana.
Really good that we were able to work with Commissioner Rosendale and CMS in order to reopen that window. It will allow us to really be in that level playing field and be in the marketplace. Montana has been fortunate and kept its three original insurers within that marketplace, and so I think competition is really healthy for this market.
Now, Rosendale said he's disheartened by the company's new filings because they had said they would honor the original rates regardless of federal actions. But the insurers say they had always expected to file for new rates if the policy ground rules changed. The other company selling individual policies here in Montana is Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Tragedy struck the small community of Huntley as the high school girls basketball coach was killed over the weekend. Kurt Kautz died in a rollover crash on Saturday. Q2's Dustin Kleeman spoke with school officials about Kautz and their plans to honor him. Dustin.
Good evening, Jeanelle. The three-year varsity girls basketball coach was also a graduate of Huntley Project. Today it was a somber mood in the school hallways with counseling available to students and staff. Kautz, who was in his 30s, will be remembered this Friday at 11 a.m. in the gym. He died on Saturday night in a rollover crash outside of Billings. Montana Highway Patrol reported Kautz was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. In speaking with school officials, Kautz has a deep passion to give back to his community, one that has the support of small-town Montana, and will continue tomorrow night with Pack the Place in Pink.
I really expect everybody to rally again. Had to do it too many times recently, but that's the great thing about this community and probably all small communities in Montana is they get that chance to rally on great causes and support each other in times of need. And that's what tomorrow night will be, a celebration of surviving and a celebration of Kurt's life, and we'll continue that celebration on Friday with his family.
We'll have more of Pack the Place in Pink tomorrow night in sports. Be sure to tune in for that. On Friday, the public is encouraged to attend the memorial at the gym wearing Huntley Project red. Janelle.
All right, thanks, Dustin. After nearly 3 decades in Billings, in the Billings community, Good Earth Market Co-op will soon close its doors. Q2's Asia Gore spoke with employees who just learned that news this morning. Asia.
Jeanelle, employees of Billings' only co-op tell me Good Earth Market is closing due to financial troubles. This is not the first time the GEM board has been faced with falling revenues. The market's financial reports show sales have slumped every year since 2012. Last year, the board decided to address that issue with a major upgrade to its salad bar and deli to increase membership and sales. But now, just 8 months after that installation, the board finds itself in the same spot. But employees tell me this time there's no way out. The decision to close made at an emergency board meeting last night. Now the board must determine the legality of closing the co-op, which is technically owned by its 4,700 members. The co-op's leadership has not returned our request for comment, but employees do believe the market will close later this week. Janelle?
Thanks, Asia. Now, the market first opened in 1987 as a food buying club. Today, Good Earth employs about 30 people. Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zinke has named the new head of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and he has some Montana ties. Zinke named Brian Rice to head the agency. Rice is a citizen of the Cherokee Nation and recently oversaw the Department of Interior's Office of Wildland Fire. He has worked for the government for nearly 2 decades, starting as a member of the Helena Interagency Hot Shots. Rice will oversee nearly 4,800 employees and a budget totaling $1.9 billion. The BIA coordinates government-to-government relations with the 567 tribes recognized by the United States. And Bob McGuire joining us now for tonight's first weather check, and that wind has died down a little bit.
Yeah.
But today it was whipping.
It was howling like a big dog, as they say. Oh, let me show you how high the winds were in our area. Check this out. In Big Timber, 63-mile-per-hour wind gusts today. Livingston had a 60-mile-per-hour wind, and down here at Billings in the Bull Mountains, all the way up to 38-mile-per-hour winds. It was just a very breezy day here. Now, what's ahead for us? Well, tomorrow we have a red flag warning for the north-central part of the state due to low humidities and high winds again. Also, if that isn't enough, look at this. This is also a high wind warning for much of north-central Montana. In the western part of that area, more like 90-mile-per-hour winds. Down on the plains, probably more like 70-mile-per-hour winds. On the outside of that, it's about 60-mile-per-hour winds. And then on the other side of the mountains, look at this. We also have 30 to 40-mile-per-hour winds with a wind advisory. Very breezy day again tomorrow. Here in the Billings area, maybe not quite so bad, but we will have some more winds here, and we'll chat about that in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Bob. Well, we do live in Montana, so why not order wild game in the drive-thru? An Arby's restaurant in Billings is one of 3 across the country that will offer a new elk sandwich. Arby's announced today the elk sandwich will be available starting this Saturday at the West End restaurant at 2834 King Avenue West. A press release says the order of elk is topped with blackberry port steak sauce and crispy onions. Arby's also announced it will return and expand its offering of venison sandwiches to all of its restaurants. The other 2 restaurants across the country to offer the elk sandwich are in Casper, Wyoming and Thornton, Colorado. Coming up next on your Q2 Monday Night News, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and firefighters in California lose another one of their own today. And later, a perfect way to start the week as furry loved ones find a home in Montana. And in sports, Scott has a fun story you likely haven't heard surrounding tomorrow's Pack the Place in Pink at Skyview.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.